Good morning. Welcome to Ag Hub. Let's get logged into the account. We're going to do a little more complex operation today, but it could apply especially if you wanted to enter your own field data and didn't want to use the clue. So let's get logged into the account, and we'll notice that the dashboard is really getting populated with many different crops. We have still the two farm serial numbers. Haven't done anything with 1207, but we've got corn and cotton acres, still the one business. But today I want to look at, in video 5, we're going to actually go back into farms and fields. We're going to look at a situation that sometimes arises. So when we look at this particular farm serial number 1207 in the field we call the South Pivots, we could enter data and use this as a container. We could enter 130 something acres for this pivot, 130 for this. Then we could say we had these out areas. These are actually in CRP grass around these edges. So what we end up with is a container that has the right data in it, but it might be better if we would separate that. Now, I'm not saying you have to, because there are people that do it that way and they do have a record. So that's worth something. But we're going to actually delete this field. So watch this. Up in the actions, we're going to say delete, but we're going to delete this farm only. Hang on, we're going to undo that. I wanted that. I actually wanted to say, let's delete. Let's undo that. So you can actually undo. I wanted to actually delete the whole farm and field. So we're on that. We're going to delete all farms and fields in 1207. So there it goes. It's done. Now we're going to go back in. There's nothing there, and we're actually going to draw. So we're going to say draw. We're going to go down here to a field. We're going to say a circle. Now this is not hard at all. If you'll notice up here, there's actually a piece up here, kind of in the top. You'll notice this little zoom screen. So what it's zooming on is I'm trying to find the center of that pivot. Once I find that and I put a dot on it, oh, hang on. Even I can mess this up, guys. There I go. There I go. Here we go. Coming out, just pulling out, and now we're entering. It's going to say that's the pivot. So we actually click a dot onto the center. We hold that, and we just drag your mouse out, and you end up drawing that circle. So I'm going to say done. I'm going to say South Pivots, and then I'm going to say North Half. North, and I'm going to say South Pivots, North Pivot. We'll make it even more complicated, right? And I'm going to put that into that new farm. I should have left the farm serial number, actually. We're going to say it's farm serial number 1207 again. We're going to attach that to the business of John Doe Farms. There we go. So at this point, we actually just need to attach that 1207, click the irrigated. We got roughly 120 acres in that particular pivot, and we're created. Now we're ready at this point to enter against that crops and seasons. So when we choose that, we'll see the option to go over here and enter crop in the season, just like we did on the other field. So we could go in here and enter 2018, and let's say that it was all corn, planted May 2nd. May 2nd, it's irrigated, and it was all 119.55 acres. Let's go ahead and enter 0.56. I'm going to show you, if you try to put more in than there, it's just going to tell you the total planted area should not exceed the field area. So let's go back and enter 5.5. It's all planted. Let's save it. So we now have a crop in the season. It's irrigated corn. And we could do the same thing as we added this field below. We could draw it also. I'm going to do one other complicated piece. I'm going to say that's part of the field. But we also look at this field right here and how complex it is. It's a partial pivot because it runs off into a lakey area. So we're going to draw it also. So watch this. We're going to go to, we pick C pivot. We go do the same thing. We align up over the top of that. And once we do, we actually, I'm in the wrong field. Let's get, again, this is the beauty of it. Let's go back and I wanted to be in this field. Let's draw the C pivot. So we go to field, C pivot over the top of this particular spot here where the tower starts, the center, and just go out here to the edge and actually click on that, and you go clockwise, and you take it over to where the other edge is. Look at that, done. And I'm going to call this we're going to call this the east pivot. And it's also part of this farm serial number 1207. It's irrigated. It's about 57 acres. We're going to create it, and we just do the same thing. We'd go in there crops and seasons the same way we had done on the other pivot, and it's ready to go. And then we can actually add cotton, we can add the varieties, we can add fertilizer, we can talk about what we sprayed and keep a record. But it's not that hard to draw. I know that as I've spoke to growers, they don't like to do it, but it's not that hard. I hope this was beneficial to you today. A little more complex issue around drawing some pivots, but have a great day and enjoy Ag Hub.